Hello and welcome to another edition of Breakfast with Brian and Tammy. I'm Brian Wagner.
And I'm Tammy Wagner, and today we have a special guest, Teresa Berglund from Eagle Home Mortgage. Teresa, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me today.
Teresa is going to talk to us today about something we posted a while back on January 18th. I think we had a blog about the new some new loan programs. So Teresa is here to talk about that with us today.
Specifically, we're going to talk about the new Idaho housing program for financing. What we've heard about this program is that really the benefit is that you can have low to no down payment and do that without the private mortgage insurance costs. Is that right?
That's correct, yes.
All right, great.
So really the net result of the program is to lower your monthly payment.
Yes, that with the
Perfect.
New program, it's been a long time since Idaho Housing has had a low down payment program without mortgage insurance. I believe the last one was in 2006. And that program, the benefit of it was that your monthly payment was so much lower because you're not paying the monthly mortgage insurance, which goes into your overall cost of the loan, otherwise known as APR. And when your APR becomes closer and closer to your note rate, then your payment is much more affordable, and it allows you to purchase the most house now with the minimal payment.
Money.
And it's a 30-year fixed. It's not going to change over.
So weren't you saying the other day that you ran some scenarios, this loan program against a couple of others, and did that actually show that the payment really was lower? Or?
Yes, there's a when I'm
Great.
looking at,
That's good.
when I'm looking at no or low down payment programs, I'm always looking at Veterans Administration, Rural Development, FHA, and then conventional. And typically, your lowest payment is going to come from Veterans Administration, or it's going to come from Rural Development. With this program, its minimum monthly payment is actually lower than all of the above.
Oh, that's great.
Even-
And then, sorry to interrupt, but so that means then too, with this program, you're not limited on location either.
That's correct. There is
Okay.
no location limit. There's no sales price limit. There are income limits for a household. They don't want them to be over $79,800 in Kootenai County, which is a
Okay.
pretty decent income
That's
for
pretty
the
good.
family in this area.
How about home value limits? Are there home value limits on it?
No limit on the value of the home. So if
Hmm.
you're $79,000 a year can afford you a $500,000 house, what?
Maybe not.
$417,000.
Right.
Then go for it.
Right, which is great because USDA, you have a limit of the rural area, so it doesn't include Coeur d'Alene and Hayden. So in this program,
Right.
you could use it for Coeur d'Alene and Hayden.
Yes. That's
Awesome,
correct.
very good.
So are there any credit requirements for this, or what are those? You know what those credit limits are?
The minimum credit score on this program is 660.
Okay.
It does have a 3% down payment at 660 credit score.
I see.
At 680 credit score, you can partner it with the Good Credit Rewards second deed of trust to enable you to get 100% financing. There is a minimum $500 cash out of pocket limit, but if they are having the seller pay all their closing costs, like
Right.
they can achieve
Yeah,
by
right.
having a great real estate agent like you,
Good
Brian.
job.
And if they negotiate that, it's $500 out of pocket, and they have a zero down if they
Sweet.
partner those two
Wow.
programs.
Sweet.
Does sound like a good program. Well,
Yeah.
switching gears here, in general, are you finding that it is easier for you to get a buyer qualified these days, or is it more difficult? Obviously, it's not the same as it was 4 years ago, but over the last little bit here, has it become easier or more difficult, do you think?
It's become a little bit easier. You know, the pendulum swung really radically from being
A
way
little
too
overreaction.
loose to being way too tight.
Right.
And now it's starting to find the middle ground again, where if it's reasonable that the person can make their payment, that they have the income, they have the ability and willingness to repay their loan, we can find a loan program for them.
Cool. So how does a prospective buyer then get started to qualify for a loan? Is it difficult to get started?
No, the first step always is to get in touch with a lender, and so they can give me a call.
Again, a great lender like Teresa.
Right.
They can give me a call, they can drop in the office, they can email me, whatever's most comfortable for them. And then we can initiate the initial conversation. And generally within the first 10 minutes, we can really get an idea on whether they should move on to the next step of getting pre-approved, or whether we need to do some counseling so that they can prepare for future home ownership.
Great.
Yeah, that's one of the things we always say is don't wait till you think you're qualified. Start talking to a lender early. That way you can get the process rolling, and they can give you good advice on how to get there if you're not there already.
Exactly.
And the main point really is not to be afraid to call someone. Because I know we talk to people and they're like, well, I know I won't qualify. And then, you know, some of them are surprised
And they
to
do.
find that they do qualify and they're just fine and they can go buy a house. So don't be afraid, because it might be good news. And if it's not good news, well, it's probably good news that you can keep going and you can get it fixed so that you can buy a house in the future.
Exactly, and a lot of times when they're hesitant to talk to the lender, their problems don't get addressed because they don't know what next step to
Right,
take.
they haven't gotten the
Right.
right advice on how to address them.
By
Mhm.
coming and talking to me and getting a game plan, we can develop an action plan together, and then home ownership is a reality in the near future.
Great.
Cool.
All right, well, thanks for coming in, Teresa, and thank you for coming back and watching Breakfast with Brian and Tammy. Stay tuned for our video next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.